Welcome back to Brandon Sports, everybody. Hope you have an amazing day. I'm here to give you guys my reaction to WrestleMania 42 Night 2. Before we get into reaction, guys, please hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more great content headed your way. Now, my overall thoughts about tonight was it was so much better than Night 1. It was so much better, way better. Everything just felt at a better pace. A lot of the matches did still feel fast, but everything just felt more, I guess, serious, if you will put it. Like, the show was just taken a bit more serious than it was in Night 1. Now, I do like the 2 nights for the content creators, but sometimes only one night of WrestleMania is truly enough. I thought they did a really good job in every single match. We're going to go over the match card, but just to give you guys a quick rundown, Femi and Brock Lesnar kicked off the show. I thought that was good the way they booked it. Then we had the ladder match, which was the second match. Trick Williams and Sami Zayn was the third match. Finn Bálor and Dominik Mysterio was the fourth match. Ripley and Jade Cargill was the fifth match. And Roman Reigns and CM Punk was the sixth match, obviously being the main event of night 2. All 6 of these matches had a great pace to them. Again, a little bit fast for my liking, but especially with the opening match and the third match between Trick Williams and Sami Zayn. I thought 2 matches went a little bit too fast. If it was an extra 2 to 3 minutes per match, I thought it would have been a perfect show. But again, I thought tonight's WrestleMania Night 2 was an A+ from the company and what they did. Now, if you just take this night alone, and this was just WrestleMania, now if you want to add Seth Rollins and Gunther from last night, and you would add the match that I thought was really good on night 1 was Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. If you take those 2 matches and you put them on night 2 for this year's WrestleMania and that was it, I thought it would have been a stellar WrestleMania. And no disrespect to the Liv Morgan and Stephanie Valkyrie match, but it was just too short. If you take Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, that was 14 minutes worth of action, and then you look at Gunther and Seth Rollins, that's 17 minutes. Now you take those 2 matches and put it on night 2, it's a great, phenomenal WrestleMania that they would have displayed. But because night 1, a lot of stuff that was just so fast, even though tonight seemed like a little bit more of a better pace, if you take those matches off night 1 and put on night 2, it's great. But because night 1 had so many flaws in the storyline between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton that was not good, that's what ultimately ruined the first night. But the second night, we got to give them their flowers and what they did. I thought it was a really, really well put together show. We'll get into all of the things that happened on night 2. Now, for me, the first match, Femi comes out. He makes his entrance. Brock Lesnar comes out after that. He makes his entrance. This match was 4 minutes and 46 seconds. Now, to begin this match, both men lock up, and they go to a stalemate with Brock Lesnar pushing Femi. Both men lock up again, and Oba pushes Brock away. Brock then sends Oba into the corner for his shoulders, and Brock pushes him down. Now, if you guys remember when Goldberg faced Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series, he's basically hit him with shoulders, and Goldberg no-sold it, that he pushed Brock Lesnar down. This is the same exact spot that they had with that. So I thought it was a nice, good callback for Femi to basically eat every single shot that Brock Lesnar was basically throwing out. So after he pushed him down, Brock then goes for 2 clotheslines, and Oba stays on his feet. Oba then clotheslines Brock. Brock goes to the floor to regroup. Brock then kicks the ring step, and he kicks them up and throws them down on the ground. Basically, Femi is getting into Brock Lesnar's head. After that, Oba then grabs Brock basically through the ropes, but Brock Lesnar pulls Femi out of the ring and sends him into the ring post. After that, Brock Lesnar then sends him into the ring post again and into the ring steps. Brock then hits a German suplex on Femi. Brock then hits another German suplex. Brock then hits a knee to the chest and one more German suplex. Brock then tries for another German, but Oba hits several elbows, running uppercuts into the corner. But when he tried to do another running uppercut, Brock Lesnar picked him up for the F5. Now, when he picked him up for the F5, hit the F5, Femi, God, he didn't get up right away, which I thought it should have been a little bit faster, but he did have to sell the F5. But if you're not really selling everything else that's going on, the only critique I have of it is that he should have just popped up. One or two things. He should have popped up, and then Brock Lesnar turns around, he's shocked, he grabs him by the neck, hits him with the chokeslam. Obviously, he chokeslammed him. After he hit the F5, he sells it a little bit. He gets up, chokeslam. After that, Oba then gets out and hits a chokeslam. Then he hits the fall from grace for the win of this match. Now, the one thing, again, that I criticized was, not to be critical, but just say something I would do, was that I would basically have Femi pop right up. Like how Hulk Hogan never sold anything. He basically gets right up. Or you have Brock Lesnar goes for the F5, and he goes for a pin, but Oba kicks out at 1. And then Brock Lesnar is shocked. Then he hits him with a chokeslam, and then a fall from grace. I'm not criticizing the match, because I thought it was booked perfectly, but I thought that if Brock Lesnar goes for a pinfall with the F5 and Oba kicks out at 1, basically that the F5 doesn't phase him and he's such a monster that he could basically kick out of it, I thought that would have been perfect. Again, this was good, but I thought the perfect touch would have been Oba kicking out at 1, or as soon as he got F5, He sells it for about 2 seconds. He pops right up and looks at Brock Lesnar and beats his chest. And they basically start punching each other, hits him with a choke slam, and then a fall from grace. This is still good. Femi got put over by Brock Lesnar. A lot of people saying that you could not mess this up. They had a 4-minute match. I think it should have went at least 6-7 minutes. Yeah, but it was still good for what it was. But I did think that an extra minute or two wouldn't have hurt this match. Now, as far as Femi hitting a fall from grace, the only thing that I wish that they did not do was when Femi hit this on Raw. And I remember Vince Russo basically talking about it, saying that you basically let the babyface get the advantage. The first time they went face-to-face, he hit the fall from grace. Now imagine if he never does that, and the first time you see Femi hit the fall from grace on Brock Lesnar was at WrestleMania. It would have been a bigger moment than he did it on Raw. That's the only really nitpick I have throughout this entire build was hitting out on Brock too early. And I liked it. When I saw it, I liked it. I realized, if you go back to my Raw review, I praised that because I really like how he just picked him up in the air and hit the fall from grace. But imagine if they would have saved that for WrestleMania and he would basically just clothesline or powerbomb Brock or something like that. Just chokeslam Brock Lesnar on Raw and then hit the fall from grace at WrestleMania. I thought it would have been even a more pop. Again, I'm not criticizing this match. It was a good match for what it was. It was almost 4 minutes. They basically got in there, they got out, but I thought this was good, and I thought it was a great way for Brock Lesnar to put over Femi. But after the match, Brock Lesnar sits up and not moving for a time period. He starts to get emotional. He removes his gloves and he unties his boot. He takes them off. Brock then puts him in the middle of the ring and waves to the crowd. Paul Heyman, they get to the ring and he hugs Brock Lesnar. Brock then takes a minute to speak to soaking it in on all the fans. He then high-fives several fans on his way back, and then he waves goodbye. Then Paul Heyman, and they basically go to the back, and Paul Heyman is basically emotional and crying. Now, a lot of people think this is a work that eventually Gunther will basically try to coax him out of retirement, but here's the thing about that. If Gunther goes on a campaign saying, hey, Paul Heyman, you owe me a favor, get Brock Lesnar to come back so I can end his career, and people thinking that he's going to retire in Minnesota. Now, I didn't think Brock Lesnar would retire this early, and the reason why I didn't think he was retired this early because Saudi Arabia, WrestleMania 43 is happening in Saudi. And so I thought that they would give him a huge payday to be there and get all that money because, Brock Lesnar likes his money. So I thought this would be a great way for him to get him on WrestleMania 43 because it's going to be in Saudi. Now, a lot of people think that this will basically get Gunther to basically taunt him out of retirement. The only thing is, if Gunther is to basically get Brock Lesnar to come out of retirement because Paul Heyman owes him a favor, then Brock Lesnar has to go over in Minnesota. And I don't think people are going to want Brock Lesnar to go over on Gunther in Minnesota and then Brock Lesnar finally retires at a SummerSlam. So I really think this might truly be retirement. I am skeptical a little bit, but if this was it for Brock Lesnar, he had a great career, one of the greatest athletes in the professional wrestling history, and he will be missed, especially by me, because I really like Brock Lesnar. I know stuff like him not want to put people over, stuff like that. To me, that's not true. I think the people that he beat and squashed that he beat was Vince McMahon doing that. It wasn't Brock Lesnar saying, I'm going to beat this guy, or I'm going to beat this guy, or I'm going to pin Kofi Kingston in 5 seconds, or I'm going to beat Big E for a title. That's not what Brock Lesnar wanted to do. That was Vince McMahon's booking. People always take that on Brock Lesnar. No, that was Vince McMahon doing that and being mischievous like that. That was Vince. It wasn't Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar will always do business with people who he wants to do business with. And then reportedly, allegedly, that Brock Lesnar picked Femi to do business at WrestleMania. And if that is true, then you have to commend Brock Lesnar, who's willing to do business and put somebody over before he walks out. And that's exactly what he did. Now, again, do I think he should retire in Minnesota in his home state? Yes, but if he wanted to genuinely not wrestle anymore, then how could you blame him? But again, this is a great way to open WrestleMania, especially them being on ESPN. Even though I went in a whole rant yesterday talking about how much ESPN does not like wrestling. They don't watch wrestling. None of them watch wrestling. None of them care for it. But again, they're doing so much promotion. It is what it is. But for me, this is a great way to put Femi again. And shout out to Brock Lesnar on his way out, putting Femi over. So after that match is over, Brock Lesnar, he gets his moment. He goes to the back. Penta, Jade, McDonagh, Dragon Lee, Rusev, Javon Evans, Rey Mysterio all make their way down to the ring. Now, when they came back from this commercial break, which again, these commercial breaks irk me because what happened to the video packages? I understand that they're having so much investment in WWE and they have to make their money back, but come on, man, this is a pay-per-view. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand when you pay for pay-per-views, you're not supposed to get ads. When you pay for stuff that you want to watch that's premium, you're not supposed to get ads. That was really the invention of these, okay, we're going to go on pay-per-view because there's no commercials and you're paying for there not to be commercials. And somehow we've gotten out of that model. And that's why it's such a disappointment when WWE's doing it. Yes, I get it. You're Netflix International. You're on the ESPN app. But if you're paying for premium content, there should be no commercials. That's always been a strong principle of mine. It should be never ever have commercials during shows like this, especially when you're paying $30 a month for an app or however much it is a month. This is ridiculous that they continue to keep doing this, because if you're a casual fan, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get casuals. Everybody's saying, oh, I show speed, doing that move off the turnbuckle on night one is to go viral and be on ESPN and all that stuff like that. Well, if you want casuals to tune the show, how are they supposed to know? Why is iShowSpeed out there? The video packages remind people of what's going on. The same thing. I'm looking at this match. As soon as we come back from break, I see Jade and McDonagh in the ring. I see Rusev in the ring. Javon Evans comes out. Rey Mysterio comes out. Penta comes out. They make their entrances, but Jade and McDonagh and Rusev are already in the ring. Now, this was a really good 6-man ladder match. Now, for me, I was complaining because I wanted the Intercontinental title to be on Dominik Mysterio versus Finn Bálor, because it gave something for Finn Bálor to fight for besides being kicked out of Judgment Day. But this was a good match. No, I never questioned whether it was going to be a good match or not. I questioned the storyline and build as to why this would be on the WrestleMania card. But they knocked out of the park. Javon Evans did the OG cutter off of the top rope onto Rusev. The only thing I question is, why would Rusev jump off the ladder to basically connect with Javon Evans? That was kind of like I'm just looking at it like, man, why would you jump off? Because if you guys look at it, Rusev is climbing up. Javon Evans is on the top rope. All Rusev has to do is just let Javon Evans jump. Why would you? That just didn't make sense to me. Why would you meet Javon Evans in the air to connect with that move? That's the only thing. Like, if you guys go back and look at that replay, you guys can literally clearly see Rusev jumping to the ladder to meet Javon Evans at the last moment. And I'm looking at it to myself, I'm like, why would you do that? I understand wrestling, you gotta suspend your disbelief, but why would you do that? In common sense, because you still suspend your disbelief, but in common sense, I just wouldn't do that. If I'm Rusev, I just let him jump off and let him fall. I'm not gonna just meet him halfway. So I kind of thought that was kind of ridiculous in itself. But Rey Mysterio looked great in this match. Dragon Lee looked good. Everybody looked good in this match, especially Penta. Penta basically hit the Mexican Destroyer on a ladder that was basically connected to the ladder and the rope, which absolutely looked fantastic. I thought he should have got a little bit higher in Penta doing that move, but it was great. After that, everyone was in the ring, climbs to the ladder. Rusev is in there. And this was just a great 6-man ladder match. Again, I wanted the IC title to be on Dominik Mysterio, but I'm not going to sit up here and criticize this. I thought this was a really, really good match. They stole a show. I did kind of think, and I want to know if you guys put it in the comment section down below. I want to know if you guys thought that Rusev was kind of out of place in this. Now, if it wasn't Rusev, if it was somebody else, I thought that it would have been probably even better. But Rusev being a brute, or like you would say, a wrestling style would be a brawler, the way he's built, you have a whole bunch of high flyers in this match that can do, like, basically like cruiserweights. Like back in the day, these guys would be considered cruiserweights. Like Javon Evans would be a cruiserweight. Dragon Lee would be a cruiserweight. Jade McDonagh would be a cruiserweight. Then you have Rey Mysterio would be a cruiserweight. So technically, I don't know if you guys really kind of like looked at it. It's not a bad thing, but Rusev did kind of look out of place here, if that makes sense to anybody who's watching this. I thought he looked out of place. He did a really good job, but I thought he was still just out of place in this match. After that, Penta then hits a cutter to Evans, and he climbs to the ladder. It was a nice cutter on basically Javon Evans. A Mexican Destroyer on Javon Evans. Penta climbs to the top and removes the belt from the hook, and he wins this match. A lot of people thought that a lot of people said they wanted Javon Evans to win. I wouldn't have minded that, but I know Javon Evans is going to get his moment soon. He's only 21 years old, so I know he's going to get more time. Right now, they're just giving Penta his moment. The one thing that I would say about Rusev being in this match is that if his brother Rey Fenix was in this match, I think it would have been even way better than what it was. I'm not gonna say, I'm not nitpicking the match at all, but Rusev did look kind of out of place in this match, even though he got to be at WrestleMania, which was good for him. I'm not criticizing him at all, but I do think for myself personally, I would have loved to see Rey Fenix in this, because you guys know, if you guys watch my Raw reviews, if you watch my SmackDown reviews, you guys know that I think that Penta and Rey Fenix need to reunite and to spark the tag team division of SmackDown and bring back the Lucha Brothers and really show what they can do as a tag team. I feel bad for Rey Fenix, but this was Penta's moment. Penta won this match. It was a good match, and I thought they really did a good job with the time that they had and what they did. This was a really, really good, and you can't be mad at it. I mean, it went 15 minutes. and 8 seconds. This was longer than half of the matches yesterday. I'm looking back at the matches right now. 3 matches on the night 1 card went over 10 minutes. That was Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, Gunther and Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Other than that, the other match was 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 8 minutes, 6 minutes. I mean, my goodness. So this was a really good 6-man ladder match. No complaints from me, just Rusev kind of looked out of place, but that's pretty much it. After that, Michael Cole then confirms that Brock Lesnar just called it a career and his time with WWE has ended. Again, I just went over that, but again, if it is indeed true and he's really not coming back, salute to Brock Lesnar. So now we get Sami Zayn makes his way down to the ring, and as soon as Sami Zayn music hits, and this is why I've been really waiting to talk about this. When Sami Zayn music hits, they are booing him. They boo him up into the part until the crowd says, "Let's go," with his theme song, and then they're just booing him. And here's the one thing I want to say, because if you guys watch my SmackDown reviews, and if you haven't, please check them out. Check them out, Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, and all the rest of the content on the channel. But the one thing I want to say to Sami Zayn, because he keeps tweeting out, "What did I do? I don't know what I did." He tells the crowd, "I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did." I know he's in character, but it's genuinely like, Sami Zayn's a smart dude. And this is why this whole Sami Zayn is, oh my god, he's such an underdog. No, bro, you main evented WrestleMania. You won the IC title. You won the US title. You won the tag team titles. You main evented WrestleMania with your best friend. 9 months or 6, 7 months on SmackDown. We all wanted Carmelo Hayes to be at WrestleMania, and instead, you got somebody else's opportunity that's younger than you and that everybody wants to see. I wanted that. I've been clamoring for that match for months. Hey, listen, after Saturday night's main event with that fatal 4-way match, make sure you put Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania for US title. And we were almost there until they gave it to Sami Zayn. And then Sami Zayn's wondering why. Why is everybody booing me? Why is everybody booing me? He came out there. He's acting like a heel, which, again, Sami Zayn being a heel is boring. I just want to let you guys know this. Sami Zayn being a heel is boring. Sami Zayn needs to go away for a while. That's the problem. That's Sami Zayn's problem. He needs to go away. Because he never gets his job done. Then after that, when he doesn't get the job done for the world title, he comes back to the mid-card division. And as soon as he comes back to the mid-card division, he takes the title off to somebody who had that opportunity and deserved it more. And you took away what fans really wanted for you and the way that he's acting. So in storyline in WWE, he keeps saying, "I don't know what I did for you guys to boo me, but I don't care." It's like, it's the same thing that's repetitive. Sami Zayn being a heel, we went through that before the Bloodline. I didn't really like it at that time. When he was in the Bloodline, it was good, but before that, when he was a heel in wrestling, what was it, Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania, it was just so stupid. It was just really stupid. All that stuff that he was doing before was just dumb. The only thing I did like was Undertaker chokeslammed him on SmackDown, but that was it. Other than that, I didn't really care nothing about Sami Zayn here run except for when he was in the Bloodline. But saying all that to say, Sami Zayn makes his way down to the ring. But I'm just saying, that was a quick, brief synopsis of why Sami Zayn just needs to get it. We didn't want you in this match. We wanted Carmelo Hayes. But I understand it from WWE's perspective of a guy who's a veteran and not a Carmelo Hayes who's young and lose at WrestleMania. I do get that point of, no, let Sami Zayn go out there and put Trick Williams over, because it'll mean a lot more in their eyes, because Sami Zayn, is so well established. I do get that. I do get it. But still, we didn't want Sami Zayn. But after that, Trick Williams comes out with Lil Yachty. Lil Yachty's basically going in. Basically gave him a nice introduction. They basically had like a something tied around his waist, if you guys saw his entrance, and his mink coat supposed to be that long, even though it was something on his waist, because as soon as he came into the ring, jumped on the apron to finish his entrance, it came off. So you basically saw that. But it was basically the whole entire ramp that his jacket looked. So this was really good. After the end of this match, really, Sami Zayn's being a heel. He's beating up he's beating up Trick Williams in this match. He beating up Lil Yachty. He's basically a full-time heel now and basically letting the crowd kiss his ass. That's what Sami Zayn is doing. Sami Zayn sets up for a hula kick, but Yachty grabs Sami Zayn and drops him on the ropes. Trick then gets a near fall. Trick then pulls the knee pad down and goes for the jumping boot, but he misses and almost hits the referee. Sami then gets the roll up for a near fall. Sami then hits an exploder into the turnbuckles, and the crowd is booing him a new one, ripping him a new one. Sami Zayn then charges into the corner to basically do the haluva kick, and Trick Williams hits the trick shot for the win. This was very good for Trick Williams again. If they did not have Trick Williams win, everybody would have rioted in that building because how bad Sami Zayn was being booed. This was actually absolutely a very great short match for Trick Williams. Again, a lot of people are not impressed with his in-ring work, but he can talk. He has the charisma. He has everything to be a future world champion in the company. In the ring, a lot of people are kind of like, he's okay. He's getting better, guys. He's still young. He's going to get better and better and better. He was in NXT for a long time. He's on the main roster. Again, I love Trick Williams. I love Javon Evans. I love a lot of these young guys who is coming and staking and claiming his business and showing out. This was really good for Trick Williams. Again, this match was only, by the way, 7 minutes. But it was enough to get Trick Williams over and to basically defeat the veteran and Sami Zayn. So to win this match, Trick Williams wins the United States Championship, which I thought was a very, very good match by Trick and Sami Zayn. Again, it was short, but it was phenomenal to see Trick Williams have his moment at WrestleMania. After the match, Trick Williams celebrates with little Yachty and his family. Trick then gets on the middle rope and raises the title. He gets the nice pyro, obviously, which is a great thing. After that match is over, shout out Trick Williams for winning. Dominik Mysterio makes his way down to the ring for his next match against the Demon and Finn Balor. He basically comes out with a throne. He gets a special entrance. He comes out with luchadors because he's the king of luchadors. After that, Finn Balor comes out as the Demon, and here's my one criticism that I have throughout this entire night so far. My criticism of this was it was too bright outside. Now people gonna say, why are you saying that? When Finn Balor comes out as the Demon, we want total darkness. This is like, I'm not comparing them, but follow me for a second, everybody. This is like when the Undertaker, the lights go out and you know he's coming out, and then it's bright outside. Here's a callback. WrestleMania 31. The Undertaker's coming back first time against Garris' Soul, Bray Wyatt. And you get that dong. You hear the dong hit. And then all of a sudden the Undertaker comes out, but the lights can't go out because they're outside and they're on the West Coast in Levi's Stadium at that time. And the Undertaker comes out and the lights can't go out because it's so bright. That's exactly what happened with Finn Balor. And I'm laughing because I'm just realizing, like, man, it ruins it. Being in a stadium like that, it's a nice looking stadium, but that translucent roof messes up a lot of the production value. It's too bright. If they started WrestleMania instead of at 6, they started at 7 o'clock, it would have been much better. Or 7:30, it would have been way better because by the time 8:30, 9 o'clock happens, you can see how great the pyro is going to be, how great the entrances are going to be. So that's the only really critique that I have about this match. This is a good match between Dominik and Finn Balor. I'm not going to lie, if you really rank this match out of all 6 matches, I would probably rank it. You would say what was the best match of the card to me was Roman Reigns. Second best match was obviously Femi and Brock, even though it was very, very short. I guess you could say this was third or fourth. I'm not going to say there was really no bad matches, but was I impressed with this match? Not really, because of the street fight title. They made it a street fight, which again, I didn't think this was a street fight. It didn't go long enough to be a street fight for me. It's the same thing with the unsanctioned match with Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. It wasn't really a street fight. This was basically a no disqualification match and everybody can get weapons and do whatever you want. It wasn't really just a street fight, in my opinion. If you wanted it to be a street fight, I think they should have just went into the audience a lot more and just done more. When it comes to an unsanctioned match or a street fight, it's a fight. A street fight is like, hey man, we going everywhere and we just gonna fight until one of us is knocked down. And I feel like this just wasn't that. So let me know in the comment section down below if you guys felt that. Like, it wasn't a bad match at all. I'm not criticizing the actual match, but it just didn't give me the feel of a street fight. So, but there was nothing wrong with the match. Again, this match went basically 10 minutes and 27 seconds. It wasn't bad at all. The Finn Balor won this match by hitting a coup de grace through the table and pinning Dominik Mysterio. Now again, the Demon looked great. I wish the lights would have went out. It would have been so much better if there was just no brightness outside, ladies and gentlemen. I know that's a little critique. Oh, you nitpicking? Fine, it is what it is. But I thought that it would have been a chef's kiss if you could just get that moment where the lights go out. That's the only thing that I was like, man, it's still too early. It's still too bright outside. But I thought this was a great match between Dominik Mysterio and Finn Balor. This is the right call, by the way, because if Dominik Mysterio won, I would have said, you know what, if I'm Finn Balor, I'm leaving. I'm retiring. I'm leaving. I'm out. Because you just can't keep beating the Demon. So this was great with Finn Balor and Dominik Mysterio. Again, the only thing that I would basically criticize is being too bright outside, and I thought it should have been just a little bit more of a street fight for me. So after that match is over, we get Jade Cargill. She makes her way out to the ring, which is kind of weird because I'm like, why is the champions coming out first? The same way Sami Zayn came out first too, which I get it. You want the guys who basically with the loud pop to come out second, but champions usually come out second, which happens in the little spoiler, Roman Reigns and CM Punk. CM Punk came out second, which is supposed to. The champion's supposed to get that treatment of coming out to the ring to be number 2. So Jade Cargill comes out. She has a nice entrance. Rhea Ripley comes out. She always gets a good entrance because she gets the pyro. By the way, I thought Jade Cargill being champion should get pyro. And by the way, just let me go back to that Trick Williams match. When Trick Williams comes out, he raises and opens up his hands and his arms wide open. He needs pyro too. I'm tired of WWE's being a little stingy with the pyro. I'm not gonna lie. They stingy with the pyro. And they mad cheap too. They need more pyro when it comes to superstars that you're trying to elevate. Superstars get pyro when they have their entrance. I think that's one thing that we have to continuously look at. Stop being cheap with the pyro. It's about presentation. That's the one thing I liked about Vince McMahon. I didn't like his creative, but the one thing I did respect about Vince McMahon was that he was going to give you a presentation. And a lot of these people are not giving you a presentation. TKO, whoever's running this, they're not giving you a presentation at all. But enough of my tangent. Let's get to Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. Now, for me, this was Jade Cargill's best match in WWE, besides the one that she had with Naomi at Evolution in July. But this was great. And I told you guys, at Elimination Chamber, when I did my review, when I awful show, but I did that review, I told you guys that Rhea Ripley was going to bring Jade Cargill to the best match, and that's why she had to win Elimination Chamber, because Bianca Belair wasn't going to be there. Liv Morgan won the Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley was the only one in the spot. A lot of people get mad at Rhea Ripley. Listen, she's over, guys. She's money. She's over. She's great in the ring. She cut a promo, even though I think she needs to go back to being, mommy's always on top. But okay, to be, hopefully this will spark that on SmackDown. But I told everybody on my SmackDown reviews, make sure you go check it out, that Rhea Ripley will be the best opponent for Jade Cargill because she's going to bring the best out of her. Why? Because if you have somebody else in the ring that can dance with you and be great in the ring with you, it's going to draw out what the other person can't do. She needs a dance partner. Rhea Ripley is the perfect dance partner for Jade Cargill. The same thing with the Naomi. The same thing with the Bianca Belair. You guys see me in my SmackDown reviews. I love Jade Cargill. I love her presentation. I love everything that she's about. The one thing I said was that if you put her in the ring with somebody who can dance and who can go, it's going to go. It's going to be a fantastic match. And look, now although I didn't like the hokiness at the end of this when B-Fab came out. Now you guys know how much I love B-Fab. Watch my SmackDown reviews. I love B-Fab a lot. Wish he would get more opportunities. I ain't really feeling too fond of Michin, but it is what it is. But I didn't really like the end of this match. They really had a good match in between that. But when they brought out B-Fab and Michin, I was like, come on, we don't really need this. And then the one thing I really didn't like was Io Sky's music hit. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought we got out of this. Enough of this lovey-dovey stuff. Come on. And from Io, by the way, I just want a quick point aside. Io Sky going from being WWE Women's Champion at WrestleMania 40 and then WrestleMania 41 coming into WrestleMania as Women's World Champion to WrestleMania 42 not being on the card and being a run-in, that has to sting a little bit. The same thing with Damian Priest being on WrestleMania 40, winning the world title. WrestleMania 41 faced Drew McIntyre. He's not even on the show this year. Tiffany Stratton, Io Sky. A lot of people are not on the show, which I thought was kind of wrong. But for this to be Io Sky's spot was kind of a letdown. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel. I thought it was just a little bit of a letdown that she didn't get to have her own match on the card. But anyway, so Io Sky's music and hits. This was just so not good. It looked like it was just too uncoordinated what they were trying to do and to try to beat them up. Now, Io Sky's music hits. She runs down to the ring. Io sends Michin and B-Fab. She hits a back fist on Michin, I think it was, or B-Fab, one of them. It just was going so fast and looked so hokey and messed up that it did not look good at all. After that, Io then gets on the apron. She does a moonsault and Jade Cargill tries to hit her with a bicycle kick, but because she does the moonsault, she misses. Rhea then hits a headbutt and tries to go for Riptide, but Jade escapes and she hits a bicycle kick. Rhea then escapes a Jaded and she hits the Riptide for the win. The winner of this match was Rhea Ripley. Again, I told you guys, Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley would do better at WrestleMania. Why? Because Rhea Ripley is there to help Jade Cargill. Whatever personal beef they got, who cares? I wanted to see Jade Cargill in the ring doing her thing and having her the opportunity to show that she can work. Give her a great dance partner. The one thing that you cannot do, and this goes for all of wrestling, the one thing that you can't do is put somebody in the ring that's green against somebody else who is not a leader in that ring, or who could call it like they say, or put a match together like a Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's been doing this for a long time. So having her out there with a Jade Cargill that's still green a little bit does wonders. And I was right. I'm not bragging about it, but I was right. This did wonders for Jade Cargill, and this should boost her confidence. Even though she lost the match, which we all know that she was going to lose, because Rhea Ripley is going to carry that SmackDown division, because SmackDown desperately needs for Rhea Ripley to carry that division. It was needed for Rhea Ripley to win. Jade Cargill retaining the title to me was not an option because SmackDown needs Rhea Ripley to carry the division going forward, going into SummerSlam and creating more stories. Especially you got Jordan Grace down there, who's fantastic, and you can do more things with that division now that Rhea Ripley is there. Again, I don't think this feud is over with. Maybe they have a rematch at Backlash, and we'll go from there. But I thought that this was Jade Cargill. Besides the match that she had with Naomi, I thought this was one of her best performances right here. Because she did a good job against Naomi. But this match right here really showed that if you put her in the ring, again, I'm repeating myself, but if you put Jade Cargill in there with somebody who can work, you're going to get the results that it needs to be. And a lot of people were impressed with her tonight. Again, now Rhea Ripley is now a 2-time WWE Women's Champion, and also 2-time Women's World Champion. After that, at the end of the match, she celebrates with Io Sky. Again, to me, that little run-in, if that run-in doesn't happen, and B-Fab and Michin stay out of the way, and Io Sky stays out of the way, it would have been even much better. But it was just the uncoordinatedness of this that really kind of had me shaking my head like, man, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this again? But again, that's just a little nitpick. It's not really a criticism of the entire match. But I do think that this was great for Jade Cargill. So after that, we get John Cena back out there. And by the way, I didn't cover him at the beginning of this, just like I didn't do on last night. And the reason why I didn't do it last night, because it meant nothing. I know it's John Cena, but him hosting this really meant nothing. That's why I said on the video that I made a couple weeks ago, I said John Cena hosting WrestleMania is desperation by TKO and WWE, and it was. We basically got John Cena in a suit to announce attendance numbers. But instead of the first night, tonight, he comes out there, he says that it's 55,255 and attendance is 106,000, way down from last year. It's WrestleMania. But Cena says this is the end of his official duties. Cena says he wanted to take a second to give a heartfelt thank you. The Miz and Kit Wilson did make their way down to the ring. They come out basically through the timeskeeper area. Cena says he doesn't get to do it. I'm sorry, the Miz says he doesn't get to do this because he is the locker room leader. Miz says he didn't get his WrestleMania moment last year, and he will not leave until he gets WrestleMania moment this year. Cena then says hello to the Miz and shakes his hand. He says, Kit Wilson, like, who is this? Who are you? Whatever, fine. He then says the Miz, if he wants a WrestleMania moment, he can have it. Before the Miz can speak, Danhausen music hits, and he makes his way out to the ring, where it says Danhausenettes. Basically, Michael Cole called them midgets, and he said that before everybody gets mad on him on social media, that they said that they wanted to be called midgets. So I guess you can't be mad if somebody wants you to call them that. It is what it is. But anyway, Danhausen's in a car. He's like a little buggy, whatever it was. He's basically driving down to the ring. Danhausen then gets a mic and says hello to everyone. Danhausen then says he's finally made it to WrestleMania, and then says he has something to say to John Cena. He then says he's a huge fan and shakes John Cena's hand. After that, The Miz says he is turning WrestleMania into a circus. He didn't ask if he wanted to see the Wizard of Oz. He would have went down the street. A lot of people are laughing. Kit Wilson then says they are toxic. One of them punched him in a private area, and all the midgets just start jumping Kit Wilson. This is supposed to be this is buying time for the main event, even though, again, it should have been a video package here, but whatever. I'm not criticizing Danhausen no more. I told you guys after the Elimination Chamber botch that they did, I let Danhausen get a pass. I know that he's going to be WWE's comedic act going forward. So again, this is good for him. I just criticize it because you can't have a big debut like that at Elimination Chamber. But other than that, Danhausen's fine. Even when he's on Raw and SmackDown, I don't criticize him. I just let him do what he does. I don't care. It is what it is. It's supposed to be fun. He's out there selling t-shirts, selling merch for the kids. It's an opportunity for him to make money. Fine. I'm not going to be too critical of it. It is what it is. Kit Wilson, before he gets hit in the private area, by the way, he pushed one of the midgets down. And after that, they started to jump him. After that, they hit him in the groin. Then they basically jump him. The rest of them attack Kit. Danhausen did punches the Miz in the same area as Kit. And Danhausen hit a cursed 5-knuckle shuffle. Goes for the you can't see me, you are cursed. Hits a 5-knuckle shuffle. Danhausen then tells Cena that he can't see him, and smoke appears. Then he does his little thing where he runs, act like the lights goes out. He goes on the ring. John Cena says that retire life is awesome and WrestleMania is unexpected. He said now it's time for your main event. And then we get to the main event of the evening. We get Roman Reigns makes his way down to the ring with his original Bloodline theme song, Tribal Chief theme song. This was great. This is absolutely great. After that, CM Punk makes his entrance. This was a fantastic entrance for CM Punk. And this is where I want to take a moment for a second and say this. CM Punk left WWE in 2014. He comes back at the end of 2023 in November at Survivor Series. 9 years, almost going on to 10 years, but because it didn't make it to January, it was 9 years. For him to get these moments and to come back and to put on a performance that he did, the way that they did tonight, is truly a great story. And that doesn't happen without Triple H. And I know we give Triple H a lot of criticism and just bash him because of the product is not good, which is rightfully deserved because you want to be in this spot and you're in that spot. However, for CM Punk to get this moment was a really, really a tearjerker, if I will. This was great. I loved it. I loved everything about this main event, even though it started off kind of slow, which is it's to be expected. This is not, these guys ain't fast. CM Punk's definitely not fast. Roman Reigns is a little bit fast. He's obviously faster than CM Punk because CM Punk is obviously older. But this was just a great thing for CM Punk. Roman Reigns is just going to be Roman Reigns. I believe in Roman Reigns when he was the big dog. That's how far I go back with Roman Reigns. I love Roman Reigns when he was the big dog. Again, he should have been a heel, but I knew what they were trying to do with him, even though Vince McMahon wasn't great at booking Roman Reigns. But I always just liked Roman Reigns. Since he came on the scene with the Shield, I love Roman Reigns since then. And to see him come this far and be the Tribal Chief, the OTC, and to see CM Punk leave and then come back and he missed WrestleMania 40. He goes to WrestleMania 41. He's in the ring with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Now he gets to face Roman Reigns again. He walks in as World Heavyweight Champion. And that's important too. World Heavyweight Champion. The championship that he won from Jeff Hardy. Not the actual title because this is a different lineage. But just to see CM Punk in this moment was just truly a feel-good moment for him. Now he could basically, if he wanted to, even though he says he doesn't want to, if he retired, I would miss him, but I wouldn't blame him because it's like, this is the highest of the highs right here. You come in as World Heavyweight Champion, a championship that was established by the guy who looked up to you early in his career, and a guy like Seth Rollins. So this was just a really good thing for me. But this match starts off with both men standing in their respective corner. They move to the center of the ring, and they basically having words with each other. This was a really good back and forth. You see CM Punk basically get busted open. Him and Roman Reigns are going back and forth. This was a great match. This match, by the way, just to give you guys a time limit, went 33 minutes and 56 seconds. This was a great match. Punk did an elbow through the table. Roman Reigns had a powerbomb through the table. Now, a lot of people are talking about disqualification. Even on the commentary, people have to understand, Michael Cole on commentary said the referee is going to allow a lot of things to go. They should have just said, it's a championship match, no DQ. The same thing on a triple threat match, there's no DQs in a triple threat match. They just say, it's a championship match, no DQ. No disqualification. The stipulation was added by Raw General Manager Adam Pearce backstage. He sent us word that this is a no disqualification match. And you could just do it in the commentary. People saying, you're taking the ring steps and you're hitting CM Punk in the face and was criticizing that point. I get that. I do get that, trust me. But I thought it was just a good moment to let these guys just go out there and just fight. And this was a brutal match. CM Punk was busted open by his mouth. Roman Reigns hit him with a Superman punch. He's basically caught up in the ropes. This was a great match between these guys. They're going back and forth. CM Punk hit the Superman punch. Roman Reigns hit the GTS. This was just a fun main event in storytelling. No interference. No Usos. Because that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, where's the Usos in this match? What's going to happen? Where's the Usos? And just, because I'm like, they were so mad and so anxious and now they're not there. I'm like, wait, what happened? So to see the match go like this, I'm like, man, this storytelling is just very, very good. Now, this match was so long to be able to read every single breakdown of it. But this was a great storytelling match. At the end of this match, Roman Reigns hits a spear. CM Punk looks at him, tries to push his face, and he basically falls down. He hits him with another spear. He gets a 3 count and he wins this match. I want you guys to actually go and watch. I'm just giving you guys my opinion because I can't give you an opinion about the whole thing and break a whole entire match down. But the one spot that I did like that CM Punk did was that he took off his tape off his hands and threw it at Roman Reigns, and the referee picks up, he walks over, and CM Punk hits it with a low blow and hits the GTS, and then basically goes back on him. That was a great spot, because how do you distract the referee to basically get your way against Roman Reigns? And that's what he did. I thought this main event was truly, really, really good. Now again, it did go slow in the beginning, but you have to anticipate. It's called telling the story and basically building it up, and I think that's what these guys did. And salute to these guys. This was a good main event. Roman Reigns gets the win after that. He's the new world champion. After the match, Roman Reigns celebrates alone. The power goes off. Roman then climbs the middle rope. He raises the championship. Roman then stands tall and raises the championship. He goes celebrate with his family. He gets back in the ring. He raises the championship and the Ula follow. And WrestleMania 42 Night 2 comes to a close. I want you guys to go back and see this match, but just give you guys my quick thoughts on it. This was just great. There was nothing bad about this. The only thing that you could say was not even bad, but just like a little criticism was it was a little bit too slow in the beginning. But other than that, it's storytelling. This is what it was supposed to be. No outside interference, no heroics, no all the the Avengers are here. Like, it was none of that. It was good old storytelling. Now, here's one thing I will criticize. The crowd was so back and forth with these guys. They were booing CM Punk. They were booing Roman Reigns. Please don't ever hold WrestleMania in Vegas again. I am pleading. WWE, you guys want your money. You guys didn't make the money that you expected to make. Please don't ever put WrestleMania in Las Vegas ever again. This city is terrible, and the fan base that was trying to cheer, the crowd was getting into it at certain spots, but I just thought it should have been louder. Imagine if this was in New Orleans like it was supposed to be, and it was night 2 main event in New Orleans. Imagine that crowd reception to this match. That's the only thing that really disappointed me throughout the entire, both nights actually, was the crowd reaction. The crowd just wasn't there for me throughout both nights. Yes, night 2 was better than night 1, obviously because of crowd reaction, but man, just the entire show felt flat by the fans. It should have been way louder than that. I don't know if it was the acoustics. I don't know what was going on. But this was a great main event for the crowd to be like this. The crowd was getting loud at certain points, but it just wasn't loud enough for me. I don't know if you guys think I'm being too critical of the crowd. Let me know in the comments down below if I'm being too critical of the crowd. But I just thought it should have been way louder for a... This was just storytelling. This is what you say is CM Punk saying this is not cinema, this is pro wrestling. No, Roman Reigns is going to say no. This is pro wrestling, but this is also cinema for the way that we're telling this story. And right now, tonight, you saw cinema versus pro wrestling come together and be great. That's storytelling. Cinema, pro wrestling, and storytelling in the wrestling business. And I thought this is what these guys did. It was a great, phenomenal main event. And I would recommend that if you guys haven't watched it yet, go watch it after you watch my review. But go watch it because this was really good for both of these guys. And I think CM Punk really needed this too. I don't really like each other, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. And after the match, when Roman Reigns gets a 3 count, you can see CM Punk is just laying there, but Roman Reigns kind of like sticks his hand and basically squeezes his hand. So basically, this was really great. This is one of the greatest WrestleMania main events that they've done. And CM Punk can now hang his hat and say, listen, WrestleMania 41, I main evented night 1, and we had the best main event because the John Cena and Cody Rhodes was not that good, right? Then the next following year, I come in night 2, and I main event night 2, and I had one of the best main events because of the storytelling that they did. Remember, storytelling. Not a lot of people's not going to like it. Sure, fine, whatever. Everybody has their opinion. But when you look at it again, I know I'm repeating myself, but the storytelling of both of these guys, not liking each other, fighting, resistance, CM Punk is blooded up. Roman Reigns proving a point that, hey, man, you old, man, and you ran out of gas and I didn't. He runs against the ropes. He comes back, boom, hits him with a spear, and the match is over, and I win the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns is back on top of the company, and I did watch the post-show to this. He said that he gonna be here all summer long, so get ready for him. He ain't going away. This part-time business comes in, and he will see y'all on Monday Night Raw. This is what people wanted, and they are looking for. This was great. Anybody criticizing it, they don't like CM Punk. Anybody criticizing, they don't like Roman Reigns. Listen, you may not like these guys individually because of, well, CM Punk walked out and blah, 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 and Roman Reigns ain't really there. Yes, does that frustrate me sometimes too? Yes. But I can obviously say, you know what, I'm unbiased in the situation and look at it for what it is. This was great. Between these guys, to really put their egos aside and to be able to work together in a main event, this was great. It was great, man. Listen, you guys know I criticize. If you look at my reviews, I criticize Raw every week. I criticize SmackDown. SmackDown was awful. 3 hours. Oh boy. But still, this was great. I repeat myself again. They really delivered with night 2. I'll give tonight an A+. Besides everything else that I say, about the commercials and, everybody basically, you spent all this money for all these short matches and advertisements. I don't like that. And the company really needs to stop doing that because that's not fair to the crowd. These matches should have been way longer. And by the way, just a quick as an aside too, if you're going to say this is WrestleMania needs to be at least 4 hours, 4.5 hours. You can't have a WrestleMania be 3 hours and a half. Well, tonight was a half because the Roman Reigns and CM Punk match were 33 minutes. But you can't say this WrestleMania have the show go 3 hours. This is basically a souped up SmackDown. As I said about Raw yesterday, I said about Raw that this is basically a supersized Raw. WrestleMania Night 1. So WrestleMania Night 2 being a supersized SmackDown, if you will, because it's 3 hours. This is ridiculous. It shouldn't be 7 hours, no. But if you're going to start something at 6, it should at least end at 10:30. That's not a bad time. 6 to 10:30 with packages, entrances, everything is spaced out, everything is timing. You get the casual fans to understand what they're watching and what they're going to watch in the future if they actually want to be a part of the quote WWE universe or being a fan of professional wrestling. You got to give people something. It was just too many ads and too much of promoting ads. And by the way, I mean, listen, I get it. Hulk Hogan was the foundation of professional wrestling, but man, how many times you gonna show and run ads of the Netflix documentary? We get it. Oh, it's okay. That's the only thing I really complained about, was that point that people were complaining about online. It's just too many ads, and these tickets are too expensive for WrestleMania to be the same time length as SmackDown. I think that's not a good look. WrestleMania should be at least 4 hours, spaced out, 4 hours each night. That's 8 hours in 2 days with video packages and everything else. You could do little commercial breaks here and there, but these WrestleMania night 1 and night 2 was too short for what the fans were paying with their hard-earned money. So let me know in the comment section down below how you guys felt about that main event. Let me know how you guys felt about this entire WrestleMania. I gave tonight, WrestleMania Night 2, an A+. I gave last night a D+. So all in all, I thought this weekend was a C passing. Night 1 was just so bad that you just can't say, well, WrestleMania weekend was a huge success and it was big. Yeah, it was a success for Night 2, but you have to dock it a little bit for what happened with Night 1. Again, I'll give it a C. I'll give it a C+ or a B- if I really want to be nice, but I'll give it a C+ for both nights combined together. But Night 1 was a D+. Make sure you go check that out. Check out that review. And Night 2 tonight, I'll give it an A+. So I'll give it a nice good C+ for the both nights. So let me know in the comment section down below how you guys felt about WrestleMania Night 2. Let me know if you guys have any little critiques. Let me know if you guys thought it was great, you guys thought it was mid, or if you're in the minority and thought that it was a horrible show, which I don't get how you would think that, but it's your opinion. Make sure you put it in the comment section down below. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the videos, hit the subscribe button to the channel for more great content headed your way. Until next time, see you real soon.